Hello, America. It's time for Mickey in the Middle. Come on in. Everybody get comfortable. We're going to have a great time tonight. We should just live, laugh, and love more often all weekend. Make sure that you check in as soon as you get here. Hello, Greg Myers. Congratulations. You are the gold medal winner today. You're first in the comments section. So hello. I hope you and Maddie are doing very well. Hello, Sherry Clark. How are you? I hope everything is doing good up there in Cabot, Arkansas. Hope you had a great day. Hope it wasn't too cold for you. I know you work outside a lot, but hey, I just want to let everyone know, A-Star Tire up there in Cabot, Arkansas. Go see Sherry. She can set you up with tires. She's the tire expert that I go to whenever I need a new set of treads. Everybody that's rolling in right now, make sure that you check in. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. We're gonna talk about a Keystone pipeline, and we're gonna talk about what I did all day. Because all day long I was mad. I was just burnt up. I was super mad. MSNBC had a lot to do with it, if anybody watched those. Hello, Terry Beavers Cooper. How are you? Susie Goebel up in the house. Jerry said, I'm doing good. Hope you are well. I am well. I was a little mad earlier. Maddie and I just found a house to buy. Oh my goodness, Greg, congratulations. Greg Myers going to be buying a house. That's great. Hello, Don Ledger over there in Arizona. All right, we ready to go on this? All right, let's go and do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the button, slide the slider, and here we go. Hello, America. How are you? My name is Mickey, and this show is called Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for middle Americans that addresses issues that are relevant to everybody in the country that has anything to do with being a middle American. Now, middle America is all inclusive. We're talking about, doesn't matter what skin color you are, doesn't matter what your racial background is, it doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter whether you're, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, whether you're poor, just as long as you consider yourself a middle American, hey, you're welcome here. Here's the thing is, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about the demographic makeup of my friends. All of them only have one thing in common. That's me. And that's absolutely a beautiful thing. So if I can click on any one of my friends, and then you'll see how many mutual friends you have on Facebook. The answer to that is, you have like 15 mutual friends. Some of my mutual friends have like upwards of 100 or 200 mutual friends, but none of them have the 3,000 friends that I have on Facebook currently. So number one, I would like to say welcome to the show. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for tuning in. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you spending time with me. Let me know what your thoughts are as I go through all of the things that affect middle Americans. So let's get right into this. By the way, Mark Alcantara's in the house. Hello, Mark Alcantara. How you doing? All right, so let me start off by saying I woke up this morning. It was a pretty good day. I started scrolling through a little bit of social media. And the next thing I know is I come across one of my favorite commentators, Eric July. And Eric July is a libertarian. He is been doing a radio show. And he's got multiple shows. He's an entrepreneur. He does a lot of things on social media, but he also does a lot of things in radio. And I've been listening to him for a while, and I like his style. And today, I got a 5-minute clip where he was talking about America and an MSNBC clip. Now, I'm not going to show you the MSNBC clip. MSNBC clip. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to talk to you about what the content of that was. And in the content of that, it showed a person that said, and I'm going to read just a little bit of what my response was to this. And I did not post this. I didn't post it. I didn't post this because it's not because I was scared to post something. But I think that now, in the climate that we have, we all have to be very, very careful about what we post and what can be used against us. And we have to make sure that we carefully craft our language so that we are not being misunderstood. So he said, the clip, and I'll just read this from my response. The clip that Eric July played was from MSNBC, and it lumps libertarians, conservatives, religious people, non-religious people, moderates, and just about every other demographic out there in with neo-Nazi white supremacists or anarchists, and then labels them all extremists. And I want you to think about that, because that's the game that people are playing now. They're saying that I'm going to associate you with something totally different because I'm going to get to choose how you are defined. You no longer get to say how you're defined. So if you shop at Walmart, all of a sudden they're going to define you by that one characteristic. Or if you shop at a local gas station, that at one time that gas station was owned by white supremacist, neo-Nazi nationalists, they'll go, Mickey bought gas, and we have pictures of Mickey buying gas at this station that was owned by a white supremacist. Did you see what I did there? Mickey's plane bought gas at a store, at a gas station that was owned by a white supremacist. No, yeah, that white supremacist died in 1935. Right? They don't say that, right? So they use the word owned, like past tense, by a white supremacist. Then all of a sudden now, Mickey Spillane is being linked with being a white supremacist because that's where he buys his gas that was owned by a white supremacist. See how they did that? Isn't it clever? Isn't it clever the way that they do that? So anyway, this moderator or this commentator on MSNBC linked all of these groups together, religious people, moderates, libertarian, conservatives, in with neo-Nazi white supremacists and anarchists, and labeled them all extremists. And it just really, really made me mad. It made me mad for two reasons. The number one reason why it made me mad is because all of a sudden they were lumping people together. They were just like, okay, so you don't believe in what I believe, therefore everybody that doesn't believe in what I believe now is on the other side and the outside, and I'm going to lump them all together, and then I'm going to throw in a little bit of racial disparity, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of extremism. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about what happened up at the Capitol or what happened here, there, or everywhere, so that we can now associate the person that we're talking about with all of those extremists, right-wing, left-wing, crazy people that are out there. We're no longer getting to define ourselves. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't post what I'm about to read you, because after I wrote this, I was like, are you going to be scared or are you not going to be scared? Now, I've decided I'm not going to be scared. I'm just not going to be scared. So here's what I wrote earlier today. Let's see what people have to say about it so far. Here in Illinois, Trenton, Illinois. Hey, that's where Greg's going to buy his house. So congratulations. And then Lucky Jackson says, sounds great. Wish you the best. And then Terry says, they are now trying to shut down Newsmax and OAN. Right. Newsmax happens to be the fourth largest news producer in the United States of America. They're number 4. They're going to shut down the fourth largest news producer in America. That's crazy. All right. So I start off this post by saying, warning for political commentary. Warning. This is a warning for a political commentary that everybody needs to hear. And then I was going to share the post of Eric July. I said he's one of my favorite libertarian commentators. The clips he plays from MSNBC lumps libertarians, conservatives, religious people, and moderates in with neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and anarchists, then labels them all as extremists. I pay attention. I've seen a lot of this commentary coming from the liberal and progressive side. Now, you got to remember, I'm Mickey in the middle. I really try to understand the progressive, the liberal, the conservative, the libertarian, the religious, the non-religious, the rich people, the poor people, the people that want to immigrate to our country, the people that are already here. I try to think about what Europe would think or what China would think or what Soviet Union, but I can never speak for them. And because I can't speak for them, I can only interpret what they say as it applies to me living my life in Arkansas and Middle America. But I do pay attention. I've seen a lot of this commentary coming from the liberal progressive side. False accusations followed by the words deprogramming, re-education camps, and renormalization. Seriously? Question, exclamation, question, exclamation. How has this not been denounced by all of my liberal friends? I have heavily debated if I should say anything or share this, but right now I feel targeted as a church-going libertarian conservative. I am being labeled, characterized, and associated with racist and extremist. I find that very offensive. I find it extremely offensive that all of a sudden I went from being Mickey in the middle to now I am a racist and an extremist and an anarchist. I'm sitting here in Arkansas minding my own business. I'm being lumped into a news show because I don't believe in everything that they believe. And now all of a sudden they think that I need to go to a re-education camp. The people I sit with in church are not racist or extremists. My conservative friends are not racist or extremists. My libertarian friends are not racist or extremists. I'm not a racist or extremist either. Some people on the left are labeling everybody, labeling everyone not by who they are or what they believe, but labeling people, every person that is not in lockstep with them as a single monolithic racist extremist enemy. And that's what they're doing. And I'm going to read that again. Anybody that's not in lockstep with them as a single monolithic racist extremist enemy. That's me. They're declaring me and you. Warning, nobody on the left, including my friends, will push back against this narrative, no matter how wrong it is, because they fear being labeled as sympathetic to the cause. Therefore, they will be a racist extremist that needs to be sent to re-education camp for deprogramming too. Do you know what they want out of this? They want us to self-silence. They want you to not be able to say anything for fear of the retribution and the backlash. So they start associating you and me with extremist groups. And then when you go, well, no, that's not the case, they go, see? That proves my point. Self-silencing through fear is exactly what the left wants. I find it alarming that I have spent 3 hours today, mincing my words to carefully explain that the tactics of the associating good people with racism, anarchism, and extremists is destructive to everybody. The conundrum is, this is how they get you. The conundrum is, if I say nothing, if I do not push back, I endorse the left's position that libertarians, conservatives, religious people, and moderates endorse neo-Nazi, white supremacists, anarchists, and extremists, and therefore need to be deprogrammed and sent to re-education camps. That's if I say nothing. If I say something or push back, I'm the problem because I am blinded to the situation. Therefore, that makes me a neo-Nazi racist extremist to be vilified, destroyed, and sent to a re-education camp. In the big scheme of things, I'm a nobody. But some asshole that does not know me and whom I do not know have labeled me, characterized me, and associated me with ideologies I do not endorse and target me. And you, by the way. And then they target all of the people on the left as well. And it made me mad because it made me start thinking about you. It made me start thinking about all of my friends, all of the people that come here, all of the people that watch Mickey in the Middle, that just want to live middle class, middle American lifestyles right here in the greatest country in the world. Now, I think it's the greatest country in the world. But you don't have to think it's the greatest country in the world. You can think that Germany or Spain or Russia or Greece or somewhere in Africa, like South Africa is cool, maybe Egypt. Definitely not Djibouti, right? But maybe Perth, Australia, maybe Sydney, Australia. You think that's the greatest place in the whole wide world. But I think America's great. And it seems like because I think America is great, and I say that America is exceptional, all of a sudden they go, you are an arrogant white asshole, gray-haired old man, and you need to shut up. You are not being inclusive to people that don't live here. You are not being inclusive because you are saying that you are better than everybody else. I'm not better than everybody else. I just happen to live in the country that's given the greatest opportunity to the most people in the world, has set the majority of the world free, not once, but twice, has gone over there and knocked the crap out of extremists in the Middle East, is holding China at bay, has calmed the fears down with Russia, brought down the Berlin Wall, set Europe free, just signed a whole bunch of peace treaties between Bahrain and the countries that are in the Middle East with Israel, and between Kosovo and Serbia. We've got it going on. And all of a sudden, for them to label me and label you and to label anybody that doesn't agree with them, and then all of a sudden, have you seen all of the talk about re-education camps? Have you seen it? I watched clip after clip a couple of days ago about all of the people that are saying extremists and almost non-extremists, moderates that don't agree with them need to go re-education camps. And then I started getting into stuff about re-education camps, about the climate peace accords, and about what's going on with that. And then re-education camps about gender. And then re-education camps about white superiority, or whatever the heck they're calling it, critical race theory. Because apparently, the most important thing about me and the most important thing about you is race. I am so much deeper than my skin. It goes all the way down to bone, you know. I'm just saying. If you strip all of this stuff up, I'm just a sack of bones. You can hang me up in a doctor's office. It's terrible. And that's kind of like where we're sitting. I am not trying to be offensive to anybody. I'm just trying to say, stop labeling me and let me define myself. You talk to me about your point of view. I'll talk to you about my point of view, and then we'll reach some kind of a consensus where I don't think that you want to put me in a re-education camp, and I don't want to think that you're just a jerk. Kevin Howell, how you doing? That is awesome. What do they say if I go to Walmart looking to buy Rolex? That is so funny. Thank you very much for that comment, Greg. Shutting down fracking being looked at. Timing's not certain. That's nuts. I heard Biden is now going to ban fracking. Any truth about this to your knowledge? I don't know about that. But here in just a second, I am going to talk about the Keystone Pipeline, because I want everybody in America to understand exactly what's going on with the Keystone Pipeline. There are a couple of things that everybody needs to know about the Keystone Pipeline. And that's the way it is. So I'm going to transition off of that comment that I had about them wanting to re-educate me and about lumping me in with extremists and neo-Nazis and crazy people that are seeking the destruction of the world as it is today. And I'm going to transition into the Keystone Pipeline. So I want to show you this. There we go. So I want to show you this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the big board. This is Mickey's big board. And what I want to do is I want to talk about the Trans-Canadian Keystone Pipeline. So right here, this is Canada. Uh-oh. Come on, make it go away. Make it go away. All right, so this is Canada. Alrighty, so that is Canada right there. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to take a pipeline and put it down all the way to the United States of America. So this is supposed to be 2,100 miles long. That's what the crazy thing is about that. 2,100 miles long. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to be carrying oil. And that's just absolutely fantastic, because I love oil. I use it every single day. We use it to heat our homes. We use it to drive our cars. We use it to run all kinds of plants and stuff like that. It's absolutely fantastic. So it's 2,150 miles long is what the thing is. So Canada has oil, right? And they are pumping it out of the ground like it's going out of crazy. And then they take that oil and they refine it. But guess what? They don't have enough refineries in Canada. So what they do is they ship it down here to the Gulf Coast of Mexico and into Oklahoma to be refined. Do you know how much oil can travel through this little pipeline system that they were going to build? See, this is the thing. Everybody's worried about the jobs. Now, I'm worried about the jobs too, but I'm worried about a lot more than that because I'm Mickey in the middle. This Keystone pipeline, to me, wasn't about the oil. It was about the environment. And that's the thing that absolutely kills me about this. It's because people are worried about jobs, and those are important because the first day in office, Joe Biden said, we're going to go ahead and kill the Keystone pipeline. And then he immediately killed a couple of thousand jobs. And then he did other things to kill other jobs. And he killed probably 4 million jobs over the lifetime of the pipeline and all of his economic policies. We're going to talk about raising the minimum wage to $15. I'm going to explain how they're going to do that. But right now, let's just say 2,100 miles of Canadian pipeline. This right here, this line right here, can carry 700,000 barrels of oil a day. 700,000 barrels of oil a day. If a barrel of oil is 42 gallons, or excuse me, it can carry barrels. Right? So it can carry 700,000 barrels of oil a day. Right? There's 42 gallons in a barrel. That equates out to 29,400,000 gallons a day that the pipeline can move. Did you know? I think my public math is right on that. So here's what the problem is. Canada's going to drill for oil, and Canada's going to sell oil to the rest of the world. If we don't refine it, somebody else is going to refine it. The people that refine the oil that comes down from Canada, those are jobs. And those are jobs that are going to be refining oil jobs. And those jobs are going to be long lasting and forever and ever and ever. Because Canada has like the third or fourth largest oil production in the entire world, or reserves in the entire world. So that means this oil is going to be coming down basically forever and ever and ever. But all of a sudden we said, no, we're not going to do that. So you have to ask yourself a question. How is the oil going to get from Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico and into Oklahoma? Would anybody like to venture a guess? Would anybody like to venture a guess how this is going to happen? Well, let me show you how it's going to happen. Because I'm Mickey in the middle. This right here. This is a truck. And it's going to have a great big huge tank on it. And thousands and thousands of trucks are going to be going up here polluting our oil. They're going to employ truckers. But do you know how much oil a tanker truck can carry? A tanker truck can only carry 10,000 to 12,000 gallons. So that means we're going to have to replace 29 million gallons of gas going through a non-polluting pipeline. Because a pipeline works when you put it in one end, it just goes through the pipeline if you push it, and then it gets to a pumping station that pushes it through. Now those pumping stations require a lot less energy than a truck that is going to travel 2,100 miles from Canada all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. So that means that if a tanker truck can carry 10,000 gallons and we need to move 29,400,000 gallons a day, that means that we need about, 2,900 or 29,400. Is the math right on that? Excuse me, 2,940. Whatever the math is. God, I suck at math. Whatever that number is divided by 10,000. Right? That's how many things are going to have to go. Do you really think that Canada Do you really think that Canada, Canada, is going to stop exporting oil? They're just going to send it to China. Or they're going to send it to Europe. They're not going to send it down here anymore. And all these people are going to be out of a job too. Because when they send it to China, then China can just use the gas there. They don't have to pump it down to us and then send it to China. They don't send it to us by truck to refine it and then send it to China, or send it to us to be refined and send to Europe. They just go straight off of their coast, put it in a boat, and then send it to Europe, where they refine it and they put it in their cars, or they refine it and they sell it back to us. How in the world did everybody in the administration that says, oh, we need to protect this stretch of land that is 100 yards wide from 2,000 miles, we need to protect that. And we need to say that the environmental impact is worth all of this, because here's what happened. You know what they did in Alaska? Have you heard of the Alaska pipeline? They raised it up off the ground so herds of caribou can go right underneath it. So there's a reduction of your thing. And moving by a pipeline, it's infinitely better than moving by trucks. Just by the impact to the environment and the number of accidents and the number of spills. And that's what the crazy thing is. So we're damaging the environment. We're damaging the economy. Canada's going to find alternatives. That means that everything inside, this is as bad as it gets for an economic and environmental decision that you can make for the United States of America. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then Greg Myers said, oh, this is great. Can kale replace crude and coal? I have heard that there are alternatives to burning fossil fuels, because kale and seaweed is also organic material that can be turned into some type of a petroleum product that can be burned and do that. But Joe Biden's excuse was, well, we don't want to deal with oil anymore. We're going to get rid of fracking. We're going to get rid of the pipelines, and we're going to go all green. And we know that scientifically we can't go all green because there's not enough solar panels in the world to power our big cities. You can't do the big cities with wind because wind quits. And then clouds come over and night happens. That means you have to have a mechanical backup for the entire system. So now you have an electrical system based on electricity that's backed up by a system that's based on coal. But if you cannot produce enough coal and you put all the coal manufacturers out of business, and you don't use their products regularly, they go out of business, and now there's no backup system for your damn hydro, or for your electric, for your solar, and for your wind backup. Because then we're not making coal anymore. So we can't have a backup. This is the most ridiculous policy that I've ever seen in my world, and it affects you as a middle American. I hate to say this, but this right here is economic disaster. It's environmental disaster. This is why it's bad. It's just not about the loss of jobs, although that becomes the most apparent thing right off the front, right off the get-go. So that's all I got to say tonight. I'm going to end on a good note. I am going to end on a good note. So my daughter has been studying for a while now to take the MCAT, and she just went to my house, and she is up there now, and I'm gonna go visit her this weekend. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab my dad. We're gonna go up to my place in Arkansas. We're gonna hang out with my daughter as she does her final preparations for taking the MCAT. And there's a couple of things there. She's got a couple of adorable cats. She's adorable herself. Her dad gets to see her because I don't get to see her very often because she's off in college all the time. And I plan on having a fantastic weekend. So do me a favor, shoot me a message that says, hey, what you're going to be doing. Kevin Howell says, what the left doesn't get is that oil is a commodity and it's going to get sold. Clean energy or not, the oil will get sold. It's better for us to be a part of that than dismissing it. You are 100% right there, Kevin Howell. Greg Meyer says, what does that say about preserving the ozone? Okay, so ozone is kind of like a different thing. It's oxygen molecules in the atmosphere that are depleted through use of aerosols and the chemicals that were in aerosols. So they changed the chemicals in aerosols to a different system Therefore, that's not released. But everybody thinks the ozone hole went away. But guess what? We still have an ozone hole, and it's bigger this year than it has been in many, 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 many years. That has to do with solar wind and the stuff in the atmosphere and the replenishment of ozone and the number of particles up there. And yeah, it's a mess. So I don't think it's the same. It might be, but I don't think it is. And will this help reduce climate change? I guess this will really help with the Paris Climate Accord. No. That's what Kevin was just saying. This doesn't help with Paris at all because Canada is still not related. Canada and Europe and China and Russia, they're not bound by anything that's in the Paris Accord. They're only bound by what they do and what they say they're going to do. So they can go, hey, look here, we're going to cut carbon emissions tomorrow, and then they don't, and then it's a non-enforceable standard, and nobody in the world can do anything. So China can go, hey, I've got a plan to reduce carbon by 2050. And everybody looks at them and goes, go ahead. And they go, oh, no, we didn't mean it. No, we were just saying that for the world. So no, this doesn't help in Paris Climate Accord. The second thing is, just like Kevin said, Canada's going to produce their oil because we demand oil for our cars, for our heating, for our homes, for to run the world. That's everything operates on oil. So with that being said, no, it doesn't help Paris at all. We don't get any credit for not running those trucks up and down the road. We have reduced carbon emissions used by coal and petroleum products by 90% by sequestration efforts in the United States of America, if I remember my numbers right. So we are the only one. We are holding right now. If you go into all of the charts, we are holding like it right at like 50 trillion tons of carbon produced every single year. And we have been like doing that for like the last 10 years. It's absolutely amazing to watch. If I can find the chart, I'll go ahead and post it. And then Greg says, it's been predicted cleaner energy is approximately 2 years out. But in the meantime, yeah, we're not there yet. But we are doing a good job in the fight to do that. So anyway, that's all for Mickey in the Middle. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Remember, Mickey in the Middle, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Central, right here, wherever I am. I want you to have a fantastic weekend. Go out and do something awesome. If you can wear a mask, wear a mask. Remember to social distance, wash your hands. Take care of each other out there because remember, I love you. And with that being said, where's my little slider deal? Remember, to everybody, have a great weekend and live, laugh, and love. Peace. See ya. You too, Sherry.